Okay, 7:45. Nice to see you all here. Just for fire safety purposes, if there is a fire, the exits are this door here and that door there. Do not try and go through the doors at the back. There is no exit from there. Okay, moving on to the agenda. First of all, apologies for absence. So Simon Reed is working this week, so can't attend. Nick has been involved in a serious accident. Not personally, but his day job in the hospital, so he'll be late, but hopes to arrive as soon as possible. Okay, public forum. We have 15 minutes for members of the public to discuss any item on the agenda, which is the ploughing of the field. Can I just yes, show of hands to anyone who wants to talk tonight? Okay. We'll try and get round as many people as possible, but obviously we have 15 minutes. So we have a lot of things to discuss tonight, and I don't want to end up not completing tonight's agenda item. So, shall we start with the lady at the back?
Moi? Me?
You, yes.
Well, mine will just take a minute. My concern, a very strong concern about as regards the lake, is the consumption of alcohol.
Okay, can I just point out, you only talk about things that are on the agenda.
I'm not even seeing the agenda.
So the agenda tonight is a one-item agenda. It is the ploughing of the
Is the ploughing of the field.
She could be getting onto that, couldn't she? She starts with that, but she could be getting onto it.
But the alcohol's not on the agenda.
What?
So all you can mention is ploughing, nothing else.
That's right. It was very clear in the agenda.
Yeah, but you can lead up to ploughing, surely. You can talk about why we think we
You
should
only have
plough
15
it.
minutes, a lot of people want to talk.
Yeah, but you're stopping her from talking straight away.
Okay.
Well, I'm for ploughing the front where the lake is, to the right of Jacob's, back behind Jacob's Way, and that's been mentioned, hasn't it? And at the front, that's it. That's what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm for ploughing.
Can we not all vote all at the same time for ploughing?
Okay, can I just point out there is no vote here tonight. The vote is taken by the parish council. This is a parish council meeting. So,
Can I talk about ploughing, please?
sure.
So, ploughing of the field, however much you want to do it, it won't resolve the issue. Ploughing means turning over the soil. It's like forking your own garden. So it'll grow back within 3 weeks. So what's that going to solve? What it will do, if you plough the field, whichever bits you want to do, what will happen is people will have a nice weekend and people will come and all they'll do is go round to the other field on the Marston side, the Wincham side, whatever you call it. So yeah, it solves a problem for the barbecues for the parish council. What it doesn't solve is the amount of people coming to Pickmere and parking. And that's the issue. So ploughing isn't going to solve your issues. Plough that field, it'd be like that again in a month. It's the time of year, everything grows. So ploughing a field, how much you want to do it, it's not going to resolve the issue.
Can I just say, if we did it on a regular basis, no, but at least we'd have 3 weeks where we can get in and out of our homes and didn't have to
You won't,
listen to it all
because
the
there's still going to be
hay.
parking and they'll walk round to the other field. That's human mentality, isn't it?
Okay. If anyone wants to speak, can they please raise their hand and the chair will ask you to speak. So, lady on the TV.
Thank you. Can at least say we'd be able to, for 3 weeks, get in and out of our houses and be assured if there was a fire or we need an ambulance, they could get through to us. We can't even walk around the streets, around the cars without getting verbally abused about all the visitors.
Okay, can I just stop you there?
And there's all the rubbish
This
and the
meeting is-
environmental issues. It would help.
This meeting is about ploughing.
I'm in favour of ploughing everything we can until we're able to put other actions in place. We need to do something. Doing nothing means this perpetual hell continues every time the hot weather. It doesn't just continue, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
So I agree with the gentleman, I couldn't see who said at the back, it might be a temporary measure. So we've got to do something. If it's temporary, we do it again. Plough it, it will
Summer
stop-
holidays.
it will stop people. There's no magic bullet. We've been discussing this for 4 years. We need to do something. We don't do anything, we've only got ourselves to blame. Plough it, people will come, they've got a that's not being done. They won't come back. Plough it again 3 weeks later. Doesn't cost that much. We've got to do something. And at some point, it nearly happened the other week on Tuesday or Wednesday, which is a bit of an anomaly. Somebody will get killed again. I think in 2021, nearly happened the other week, on it was a Tuesday or Wednesday, it was a bit weird that one. We're massive our own destiny, we've got to do something. It's not going to be a fence, we've got to power it. We've got to do something. The village is under siege, and it will stop people coming, because they won't go on and sit somewhere.
Okay. Sorry to cut you off, but can we just have one person talking at a time? Okay, this is a parish council.
I don't like the idea of the ploughing. However, I do feel that as an interim measure, it is something that we should implement. What concerns me is the level of ploughing and what areas, and I'm hearing, I don't know the full facts, so I don't know if it means the whole of the IROS gets ploughed or just parts of it. I'm hearing that the bit in front of Jacob's Way will be ploughed, and perhaps the steep hill up to the IROS top field. Well, is that not surely going to just concentrate everybody in that top field? And so will that actually make any difference? I don't know, but I agree with most people here that something has to be done, and it's one of these things where you try it, if it doesn't work, we'll have to think again, but we have to also think about long-term measures. We can't just rely on this.
I don't think ploughing will work, but like everybody says, we have to do something. Something's got to be done. It's getting dangerous and something serious is going to happen. If you're going to plough, you have to plough where everybody at the moment on hot sunny days are coming and sitting. So when you walk down the footpath from the car park, where Jacob's Way is, they all sit there. You've got to plough all that. They've got to be ploughed there. If you don't, they will carry on sitting there. Why do they come to Pickmere to get to the lake? We've got to stop them getting to the lake. Just reduce the numbers. So that first part needs to be ploughed, I believe. Where the pavilion is, the Iris field at the top I call, I don't think you need to plough that. We could always revisit and come back to that. If you're going to plough, don't plough that. Plough down the hill and even under the trees, the bushes, where they all sit there, right down to the footpath. Again, to stop them going to the lake, make it uncomfortable, make them think, there's no point in us coming here, we can't sit here. Because they come at 6:30 in the morning, some mornings, sometimes just to swim. They're here at 1:30. Where I live in Jacob's Way, we see them, they're still there at 1:30 in the morning. We've got to make it in a way so that they don't want to come. You make it unattractive for them to come. And then the parking, everything else on top of that will get better. Stop them from coming. So that's where I believe we need to plough. Whether it'll work or not, we can only try. We've got to try something. I have a solution which will work, but we can't talk about it. But do ploughing first of all. Do ploughing.
Yeah. I love to say.
Is anyone that hasn't spoken to speak?
To alleviate the problem of visitors to Pickmere, there were other proposals put other than ploughing. Ploughing to me takes away the amenity that the parish was so keen to keep a year or so ago. So the ploughing restricts forever, essentially, because despite what people say, if you plough a field properly, it's going to be 2 years or more to reinstate it to use for people to play football on or whatever the kids do and walk your dog. It's ruined for a period of time. So that's what concerns me, is that ploughing just goes back to what we apparently as a parish didn't want a year or two ago. It's just the same. I would say to you, it's also expensive to remediate having properly ploughed it on the bank and everything. My suggestion would be, if you really want to just put people off, use some very strong manure for the first event. Just spread manure on it. It's self getting rid of. It's a time-phased thing. It only lasts for weeks, and then you can decide to redo it or not. But you don't have to remediate it. It just goes away. I live near far fields that get camel on them, so well, does that matter? This is the same as the rest of the
Okay, someone else want to talk?
Yeah.
Just quickly, I mean, I think you just got to do something that then gets pictures out on social media, gets the message out. I think I know what you're saying, but I think ploughing it, the pictures will get out there, people will see it, they'll realise that this is not a great place to come and pitch
My
up
concern is
today.
it really takes away the jewel in the crown
The
of
beauty
Pickmere,
spot.
which is you can't then visit.
Can I just remind you, this is a parish council meeting, people are invited to speak. It is not discussion, you cannot interrupt these.
The whole point about ploughing is they're not planning on ploughing that top field where the children would play football. They're not going to play football on the slope or the bit on the bottom, are they?
Well, maybe we
The
can ask the
field
chairman
on
to
the
be
top.
clear then, because reading your report, I can't tell what's been ploughed and what's not.
I think the idea is not to plough. I'll keep saying the word plough, so we're not talking about ploughing. So the idea is not to plough that top field, isn't it? Am I right?
No.
So the idea is to plough the whole thing, or have you already decided it's not to be ploughed?
I don't know. This is what confuses me. I don't know where all these things come from. We're having a meeting tonight to discuss ploughing.
Ploughing. Well, that's what I want to do.
We haven't made any
discuss
decisions.
Ploughing.
We will make a decision by the end of today. So all
Can
the stuff
I
you read on social
applaud
media
decision?
is not true.
I've not read anything on social media about ploughing, but I thought the idea was to leave part of it and just plough the slope and plough the bit along the
That hasn't
bottom.
been-
And may I suggest as well as ploughing, muck spreading it at the same time, that would work.
Okay. So I'm trying not to eat up the time by responding. Muck spreading is not something we can do
Why not?
because the government don't allow it. Because we're next door waterway.
There's some
Excuse me,
for all of that.
can I just say on the, is it okay for me to just say something?
Getting about the rings.
So I just wanted to say, with regards to muck spreading, forget muck spreading, we've already got muck of a different sort at the top of the IROS, and that is not healthy and safe for any children that play football up there, anyone that walks a dog up there. It's absolutely disgusting. We know for a fact that there's far fewer wildlife than there was originally, and there's muck there of the most disgusting type underneath all the hedgerows and the trees. That is muck. I mean, honestly, it's disgusting. How anyone still can think it's a beauty spot, I do not know. But they're still coming to sit in their own shit, pardon the expression.
Okay, thank you very much. Gentleman,
Could I raise a point about ploughing that, in actual fact, has anybody been approached to physically do this work? Because in my experience, and probably other farmers around here, it'd be very difficult to plough some of that anyway, because it's on a steep embankment. And on the right hand side, behind Jacob's Way houses, it's full of trees, tree roots, and it won't plough very well at all. So that needs investigating as part of your remit.
So you're absolutely right. So we have talked to people that do this for a living, and we will be taking on their suggestions. But there are obvious places where you cannot plough. The pumping station to the lake, there's a big pipe there. There'll be no ploughing going on there. So if the decision of the council is to plough, then it will be only if technically possible. And as you say, there's plenty of places where it's not technically possible.
I'm quite happy for ploughing to go ahead. I've got no objection, but I like Mark said, I don't think it worked. All that seems to be happening is you're treating the symptoms and not the cause. If the cause was dealt with, the symptoms would go away.
Yeah.
That's all I like to say.
So going to have to go for the...
That's me again. As regards ploughing, right, what about looking and getting ideas together about actually managing it? Having specific people, because they're not going to stop coming. It's forever and a day, Pickmere. They're not going to stop coming. But having people there managing it, I think we should look at ideas like that.
Can I just finish? Can I ask the council, we're not having any action. What we require is action from you. What I would also suggest is that you form some working groups to look at various options that people are suggesting and ask us as residents to join those working groups and work with you to come up with some solutions of how we move forward. We need to be doing more than just this. You're not successful by yourselves, it's a big problem. Let us get involved and help resolve it.
Community, I think we should.
Yeah. Take one more, that's it for tonight.
No point.
I'll have the last one.
Can I ask, when you say ploughing, do you mean full depth ploughing of full furrows? Or are you maybe just looking at rotivating and cultivating to turn it into a 3-inch, 4-inch deep rubble dirt that would then be uncomfortable to sit on?
Yeah. So again,
without causing mass damage and long-term structural damage to the soil. That could be done every 3 weeks, very quickly.
Good
so
idea.
again,
Good idea.
we haven't made any decisions on whether we're going to rotivate, till, plough. That's a technical question. Well,
is that an option?
Okay, so I'm going to have to end the public forum. What I will say, if there is any time at the end of the meeting people want to come with their suggestions, and perhaps we are as upset about the visitors and the problems as you lot are. We live in the village, and we are spending a lot of personal time on this project, despite what you might read on Facebook. So anyone who wants to help, then we're more than happy to talk to them. So thank you very much for coming. We will now get on with the parish council.
You can stay to listen to what they say.
Okay, we need to have a minute. Be quiet.
Your council is saying, which is very important. You need to know what your councillors debate and say on your behalf. So I would urge you all to stay.
Anyone coming back? Alright, so just to go straight to agenda item 4.1, considerations for ploughing the field. So, as we've all gathered, it's been suggested that ploughing may be a way for the council to make the lake less attractive, and therefore reduce the area where people can congregate and therefore reduce the antisocial behaviour on sunny days. So as part of that, we've put together a list of considerations which we need to think about when making that decision. There's quite a lot of legislation around ploughing, more than I ever imagined. So obviously as a council we can't break the law. We are the first level of government, and when we became councillors we signed up to uphold a number of principles which means that as councillors we are bound by the law. Okay, so the first consideration that we need to take into account is the public right of ways and highways. So under section 134 you are allowed to plough across a public right of way where there is no convenient alternative like this. If we did plough across the right of way, we have to rectify it within 14 days. But probably what's of significance for our field is footpaths that run along the edge of fields, such as ours does, cannot be plowed. And that's covered by the public rights of way landowner responsibilities. So there is, for councillors and for public, if you want to look at the government guidance on that, it's on the website. So, any comments on first consideration? We're happy to accept that as a absolute. Okay. So the second item that we have to look at is badges on the land. So there is Protection of Badges Act 1992. It makes it illegal to intentionally or recklessly damage, destroy or obstruct access to a badger set, or to disturb the land within 30 metres of the badger set. Any areas within 30 metres of a set must be excluded from ploughing. Again, the government guidance is on the Parish Council website.
But it's not going to be 30 metres.
So we have commissioned a report, and I have to say thank you to people that did perform that report at short notice so that we can have this meeting. And my understanding from reading the report is that any of the ploughing that has been suggested, so that's the top field, the slope, and in front of Jacob's Way.
No, not the top field. Not the top field, the bottom field.
Can't hear.
So, why can't we do top field?
It's the bottom field. Because what you've just said is about the badger set.
So the top field's included in the report. Well, it's on the map.
My mum would know you. She did it. My mum would know what's on that report.
Your mum did the badger set?
No, she got it organised, did she not? You know, you just thanked the people who did the badger report, and you haven't thanked anyone else.
Stop. Matthew.
I'm sorry, I can't hold my tongue any longer. It's absolute rubbish what you're coming out with. You're telling people that you're going to plough it, and then you're telling them you can't plough in certain areas. So where are you going to plough if you do it?
So who's telling people they're going to plough it?
You're discussing ploughing, and then you've just said in the public forum that in certain places you aren't going to be able to plough. So where are you going to plough if you plough it? Where is it?
So I thought I was clear. I'll try again. So we commissioned.
You said you can't. You said you can't do it in front of the pumping station. So where are you going from there?
So I said that there's technical issues with ploughing over a pipe of that size.
Okay. Yeah. But you've just said that you can't plough in front of the pumping station.
Sorry, I need to.
I'm sorry. It's absolute rubbish.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, Ewan, right? Everyone in the village is sick of the people that come in here. I just drove past about 10 families walking down it on the road. On the road.
It's full of drug drivers and drink drivers.
Okay.
We're in danger.
I don't want to clear the room, but I will clear the room if I have to. So this is a parish council meeting. You are allowed to observe, you're not allowed to join in.
But you should have called another official one then, because everyone in the village has shown up to talk to you about the issue. That's what they've done. Everyone who stood outside still, everyone who walked up, everyone who drove up has come to discuss it at length. Not 5 people, not 10 people, everyone in here. Every single person is affected by it.
They're not following the rules. They're not following the rules. The visitors, they're not following them.
Okay. Unfortunately, even some of your parish councillors, unfortunately, aren't following.
I'm going to have to suspend the meeting. I'm sorry. The meeting is suspended.
Why not just talk to residents? Residents want to
It's a parish council meeting. We don't.
Well, when you don't talk, you're going to have to engage them.
The meeting is suspended. We got to the badger thing. And then Jane had a disagreement with the chair over whether the badger report included the top of the tree.
Okay.
So that's the question I was going to ask you.
Yeah, could we just clarify that?
I'm pretty sure it does, but I since you messaged me that, I haven't stopped to have a chance to look at it.
I don't think it does.
When I looked at it, it had.
I'm really serious about that.
So
I couldn't see the
the 3 coloured areas.
Yeah.
I drew those.
Yeah.
I sent her that.
Right, so it covers those 3.
Because that was on the poll, there were the 3 areas.
Yeah.
So I said, these are the 3 potential areas. So let me reread what she'd said about that. These are supposed to be
I know that it's wrong, Ewan.
Well, I can get on the report, Jane, I'm sorry.
When I talked to her, she certainly knew it was all 3 areas. Proposed bank of 3 areas.
We'll just restart there then. I'll be able to do the time. So, time is 8:24. So we will restart the meeting. I'd like to welcome Councillor just in time, without disclosing anything that would put us all in prison. Could you confirm or deny whether all 3 areas were included?
So I'm just double checking that. My understanding is that all 3 areas are included. That's certainly what was discussed.
So
I'll double check.
Oh, so we'll come back to that. If we can agree as a council that we won't be ploughing any areas that aren't within the report.
It would be helpful, Chairman, if we did actually put what those areas are.
Okay.
Because that's what people are going to be looking for when they read the minutes, isn't it? But then it still doesn't feel clear.
Yeah, that's our problem. We don't say.
So
what I can do is show you the.
Well, so I can tell you what I discussed with the ecologist, which was I explained that the online poll had suggested 3 potential areas, one being the grassy bank, one being the vegetation area between the Jacobs Way houses and the lake, and then one being basically the large flat field at the top of the hill on the IROS near the pavilion. And I sent her basically a Google map screenshot with those 3 areas identified as free, coloured areas. And in her report, she's included that picture that I sent her, and she has commented on the 3 areas for ploughing.
And the picture that is on the Parish Council website is the one taken from the report. So the confusion I think I caused this morning is I couldn't see this line.
I can see fine.
But now I can. So it was definitely in the report.
And one other thing, Chairman, you thanked the people who did the report. Who were they?
So they were from Wincham.
So
we were helped by the local badger group, and they put us in touch with, let me just get her surname right. Oh, I've lost it. It is Emily. Just a second. Emily McFarlane of Ecology Awareness. She very kindly did this very quickly for us last minute.
No cost.
And was there some particular involvement by the council? Yes.
So both
So,
Nick and Jay were researching the
So I
the
initially
badger.
went to the lady who's in charge of the badger group, who I knew was, and she mentioned this lady to me, but said that we would have to, she told me what her belief was, which is what I came back to the first meeting with. But because it wasn't in black and white from somebody important, it didn't matter. I had to we had to take further information.
But now we have both detail of where it is and also thank the appropriate people.
Yes.
That's lovely.
And we couldn't have gone forward to another stage without this report.
Lovely.
So, and sadly, the bottom line is that
They estimated it.
the report indicates that there's no bar to ploughing on the basis of badgers.
They only estimated.
So we've met the requirements of the Badger Act.
I've just got it in black and white.
Okay, moving on to the...
They only estimated the distance of the top field. They didn't measure it.
So moving just to the next issue that we have to consider is the underground structures. So thanks, Nick, for sharing the plan from United Utilities. Certainly that indicates there is a lot of pipes on the top field.
Yes.
More than I thought there were. As mentioned, from the pumping station to the lake is a huge pipe which I can't see anyone with rotating tilling or even using a spade. And then we have the pipe. I wasn't sure that in that map, is the one on the left-hand side, which seems to come from the orchards, is that the pipe that's just been fixed?
So,
or is it not far enough across? Is that another pipe that we didn't know about?
No, I think it's the two pipes that we know about, but it seems like both pipes sort of drain roads from the orchards area. It looks like it is not very clear. Let me...
Because my understanding was that from the lake behind our house to the lake, it's one pipe. Full
So I think you've got the blue pipe,
yeah,
which is the one we've always thought drained from
the cow lake.
The cow lake back on Clover Drive.
Well, maybe.
I think it does. It just can't see that on this map that we've got.
Right.
Ewan, I think Virginia might know something about pipe works.
Yeah, well, can I just tell you that when we first got the IROS, the top field, which had chalets on them, some of the chalets had obviously got in illegally to the water, United Utilities water, and we had it draining all over the top field and a bill for 1,500 before we'd done anything. So I think there are probably quite a lot of illegal pipes under there.
Oh, thank you. Since that was... Sorry, I can't let you talk.
Okay.
Sorry. Unless you have
Well, I was just going to say, I mean,
professional information you can give us.
Well, I mean, I work in construction. I mean, you can just hand dig around the where you know the utilities are and the pipes. And I know it's not, you know, as long as it's not extensive, you could work around where there's, you know, existing utilities, couldn't you, with hand digging?
Right. Thank you for your explaining.
No problem.
Okay. But that also came off a website.
Yes.
So that's what we need that. I don't suppose you know what the website was for looking for pipes.
This seems
What,
to
for
be,
locating pipes?
looking at the web address is on there. It appears to be United Utilities' own online mapping.
Nice. That's what I thought. Yeah. Because on there you can write to them and ask them to tell you where they are.
Yes.
That's all what I found. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is an issue, but there may be some technical fixes for that. Okay. So if we were to go and decide to plough them, we would have to contact utility companies through the land registry and ask them for a detailed map of all the pipes that could possibly be there. But I agree that certainly on our land there's the old caravan as I found them. So there could be things that aren't on that map. Okay, next item for consideration is the soil conditions and ground composition. So originally the area in front of Jacob's Way was where the fairground was, and that's where the hardcore is. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and soil was imported and put on top of that.
Yes.
At some point. So I think the issues that we have to consider are, so as you're probably aware, there's an investigation ongoing at the moment into some of the housing sites around Northwich, which appears to show, allegedly, that a lot of these places are grossly contaminated from industry in the past. So it is possible that the material used on the IROS could be contaminated, and that there could be material that was left behind from the fair that could be contaminated. I'm not saying it is, but that is an issue that we need to consider if we decide to plough that bit, because we could be exposing material long since gone onto the surface that was buried beneath. I don't know if anyone has any comments on that. What's their latest?
The large building that used to sit there.
Yes. The fun house.
Is that what it was? Okay. I mean, that's certainly of an age that could well have had asbestos in it.
I don't think that did. The only two buildings, to my knowledge, that had asbestos, and I said it to Ewan today, there was two garages on opposite Lake House. That my mum and dad had one, and our next door neighbour had the other, and that had an asbestos roof on it. The fun house didn't.
Sometimes when you see the pictures though of the fairground, there's a large structure
Yeah.
with a grey roof that looks like the old original asbestos type roofing.
Was that building still there at the point when
Yeah.
the builder took it on? And
Yes.
yeah. You just wonder, what's the likelihood that they flattened it and took it all away, or they flattened it and they just buried it?
I mean, that is the only consideration with it.
There was talk of asbestos at the time of when it was all
being dismantled.
But it's not just asbestos, it's any materials that contain asbestos.
There was nothing. I mean, that the only building that could have had asbestos is that one, because the others all had wood roofs, or they just had like fabric.
Right.
So
Can we test? Is there a way of testing?
Yeah.
So we'd have to what? Dig sample trenches and see if we find stuff. Is there any other realistic way of doing anything?
No. I mean, because I've read a lot about this, one of the issues with contaminated soil is you need to know what it is you're testing for, so you need to know where it came from. If you don't know where it came from, you don't really know what to test. So you could do a battery of tests, which are each very expensive, to find out, you know, the top 10 things that it might be, asbestos being the highest likely in this case. But depending on whether the soil from, they could have got it from anywhere. ICI, put it down, put topsoil on top. I'd probably surmise it probably wasn't even illegal then.
Right, and the area that we're concerned about particularly is
where the fun fair is. And I'm right, I'm sure how deep it is. Did you do any digging on that bit?
Me? Did I do any digging?
We had a little diggy thing yesterday.
I did. Well, I've got 2 lots of soil. I've done a peat test for you, which is what, and I have got some soil. Yes, but it's not peat.
Well, you've got like dug a trench to see if there's anything down there, have we?
No, I've not done a trench.
I'm trying to guesstimate how far.
So yeah, so if we're turning over 6 inches of soil,
I went about this deep.
So that would be plough level, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what but Steve Wilkinson.
How deep is that?
So, okay, so that is about, it's at least 6 inches. Steve Wilkinson said that he used to, I've sent the thing where, oh, I didn't send it to everybody. So he used to use a furrow, which used to go 4 inches deep, and he used to do that every 2
so
years.
this is what I didn't understand about your thing. So Steve used to plough it.
He furrowed it.
Furrowed it. When there was a fun fair there?
No, it's
After the fun
every
fair?
2 years they used to. It was all part of the management plan that was put down there. So Steve.
So to control the plants on that site, it used to be ploughed.
Yeah.
Or not ploughed, but whatever the technical term is.
Well, I'll tell you exactly because I've got it here in black and white. Okay.
Okay, so if we've got someone in the village who's still in the village, who's turned over that soil in the past.
So he said, I've never used a plough down there. The only machine I used was a flake mower, which goes about 4 inches deep. He said that the other side, that Joan Webber told him that it was ploughed during the war.
What's the other side?
So the IROS field at the bottom, that was ploughed
The grassy
on. It was ploughed on. You can see a small level section part way up the hill, because it was ploughed during the Dig for Britain campaign.
So I don't think I've got any. Well, personally, I haven't got any concerns about that. But
Okay.
I'm more concerned about the bit that's been
Resoiled.
And he hasn't. When we did played it.
It was about 4 inches deep, so it's not quite. It does put deep furrows in, but it doesn't turn it over like a plough.
Okay, but whatever that process is, would that be sufficient to achieve what we're talking about wanting, or not?
Well, that's been done every couple of years. Well, it might.
It's been done in the 10 years I've lived here, that I'm aware of. Did it?
Yes, it was because the people from Jacob's Way used to pay for it to be done.
It is probably about 5 or 6 years ago now.
Well, Alan's done it twice that I know, so it's been done in the last 6 years. Alan's done it twice, so.
And is that not good enough? Does it not?
Yeah.
No, Alan.
But it would be good enough to stop
Yeah.
people sitting on it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
I think
is
that's what you're
if-
trying to
if-
say, isn't it?
Yeah, so if a process that's going to be good enough, that goes 4 inches deep, that's been done in the past and doesn't seem to have caused any problem,
Could be done again.
that's what I'm wondering. Could that be done? What is
Yeah.
that?
Oh, of course it could be done.
But will it achieve what you want to achieve? Because I don't know what it is.
Well, you wouldn't want to sit on it.
No,
That's what I mean.
you wouldn't want to sit on it.
By law you don't need to test it unless you're going to take it off site and dispose of it. That's
Thank you.
yeah. So rotavator you don't need to test it. I know there's a moral piece of not wanting to disturb asbestos, but you could get a contaminated land specialist to do a desktop risk assessment and tell you the areas that they would test if you wanted to
I've actually just
Take the
messaged
morals.
two people to see if they thought it was
Like,
asbestos. And
like
one of
Nick's
them
just
was
said though, if it's been done in the past with no problems.
Yeah. That's well, I guess it's been done in the past, presumably without exposing obvious
Yeah.
asbestos,
Well,
but it could have exposed some of the chemicals we were
I
just
don't.
about
I tell you what it is. I think what they're doing is they're still staying at soil level. They're not digging down. They're not going any further down where they're going to try and unearth any stone.
Yeah.
Because I know that was a consideration of going very deep. You know, with if you're going 6 to 8 inches deep with a plough. It's just that little bit more, isn't it?
And there'll be rules around that. Sorry, I know I'm just joining the meeting.
Yeah, there is.
If you spoke to a specialist, they
I have.
tell you, if you go to certain depths, then you've got to do some
Yeah.
sort of testing. But
That's right. I found
You
that out
don't go to
today.
those depths. You don't have to do depths, do you?
Okay.
Thank you.
So are we in agreement that we need to get some sort of expert report before we proceed with that, or?
Not if we were only doing what Steve Wilkinson's doing.
If we're doing what Steve's done in the
What's
past.
been done in the past.
We don't need to.
No.
Cool.
All right, moving on. So, one of my favourite regulations, diffuse pollution regulation. Regulation 1981, so including, these are things that would come around if we were thinking about ploughing. So we need to look at the potential for pollution. Soil is pollution, just in case anyone was wondering. So we need to do additional assessment if the slope is greater than 12 degrees, which I anticipate it is.
The grassy bank.
Yeah, the grassy bank one. If it's in proximity to freshwater bodies, which it is, because we're near a lake. And I think the other pertinent thing is that we're required by law to make reasonable steps to prevent erosion and runoff, which I think possibly we could do by not ploughing right to the lake. That makes sense. Within
Like we discussed the other night at the.
So we could plough on the hillside of the footpath.
Yeah, to within
up that hill, not right up to the footpath, but up to that.
to a metre.
And the metre covers the hedge. Have we got to the hedgehogs yet? The metre covers the hedgehog thing.
No, we haven't got hedgehogs yet.
Okay.
Hedgehogs coming.
I'm anticipating.
But you just wait till we get to the voting bit and others is going to pan out. Okay, so those are the pollution regulations. Not including asbestos. Right, so the humdinger is the environmental impact assessment. So, I actually got a response from Jubilee England. Natural England today. It was obviously their day in the office. So they were kind enough to send me the regulations and the guidances I'd already found. And they are going to do a detailed assessment based on position.
Okay.
But basically, as discussed in this report, the land has not been cultivated in 15 years, so it almost certainly requires approval from Natural England. So the first stage would be they would do a screen of the information and decide whether we need to get a license to do it.
Okay.
And then they would decide if we could have a license to do it, or tell us you don't need one, crack on. But they obviously won't make a decision until they've got the exact details of.
Will that hold it up?
They told me something completely different today on the phone.
Would that hold it up a great deal than waiting for a license?
I have to say I don't know.
So when I rang them today, and my daughter taped recorded the conversation that I had with them. There's only 2 officers in that Natural England office. Sorry?
Who did you talk to?
I'll tell you who I talked to.
just while Jane's doing that, did they give any indication of timescale?
It usually says, if you read the thing, it says 30 days, but it can be done in 15 days. It depends on what they find. It's open-ended, in other words. Could be a fortnight, could be a month.
Is that 30 working days, or is that?
I don't know, just say 30.
It's normally calendar days for them.
Yeah.
I can tell you that for free.
Okay.
But I think the situation would be if they felt it was okay, they'd probably come back within 15
So
days.
there's two officers, there's Rolf and there's Jamie, and I spoke to Jamie. And they actually said to me today, there is nothing in the Crow Act to stop us from ploughing. The only thing that's problematic to it when you plough is there is an environmental impact, so you would possibly need to get an environmental assessment, but there is nothing in the Crow Act or nothing from Natural England to stop us from ploughing at all.
Okay, so who are the two people that were there?
So the two people in the office are
Jamie
and
Ralph.
Ralph.
So at least one more?
Well, they said there's only the two of them in the office.
Okay, well I have an email from one of them who isn't either of them.
So, but wait a minute, Jane. So you're talking about Countryside Rights Away Act?
I'm talking about Natural England. I rang Natural England today.
Okay, they were saying there's nothing in the Crow Act.
Yes.
But you weren't talking about the Crow Act. You were talking about
No,
the
we're talking-
environmental impact assessment.
We need to, yeah.
Yes.
environmental impact.
Well, that's what they said we had to do, an environmental impact.
But that's what he's saying that you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't say anything about that. Other than that, the environmental impact, there's nothing else they have to do. You don't have to get a licence or anything like that.
But what you were talking about is getting an environmental impact assessment.
Yes,
Is it not?
that's right. But he's talking about he's talking about having to apply for a licence. You don't
If they
have to apply
decide
for
that's
a
what we have to
licence.
do, then that's what we have to do.
I'm confused. Ewan, sorry, could you just explain again? What is an environmental impact assessment and how do we do it?
So I think we can apply online.
Okay.
But what they have is it's a two-stage process. So they do a screen of the area.
Yeah.
So I've sent them the coordinates of the field.
Okay.
They'll then do an in-detailed assessment as to whether we need to join the process.
Okay.
Or they tell us just to crack on without joining the process.
Okay. So Jane, you spoke to someone in an office at Natural England who said the Crow Act doesn't stop us ploughing.
Yes.
But we might need to do an environmental impact
We
assessment.
would have to do one if we're
We
going
do,
to plough,
okay.
because it's more than 20 years since it's been ploughed.
So that's the same as what Ewan's just said, is that we need to do environmental impact assessment. And
Yes.
that's what Natural England has said to him, but a different person.
Yeah.
Yes, other than you saying that we have to get a licence, they're not saying we have to get a licence. No
I
one
think
said
that's
to, no one said
that's
to
the
me you
basis.
should
We
get a
might
licence.
Depends what the environmental impact assessment is.
And my guy says it's 15 years, not 20.
Oh, well, my guy said 20.
Okay. Well, my guy put it right.
Fine. So either way, we have to get the environmental impact assessment.
Or we don't even go down to ploughing then, we go back to flailing.
We'd have to.
What's flailing?
Do we still?
We only go 4 inches deep
Oh,
instead of
right.
6.
That doesn't have the same effect with Natural England. They're not saying that. I can't think what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that if we do that, Natural England won't say that we've got to have all these tests for that.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, then we'd have to go back because we didn't
We'll have
give
to
that
check
to them
that
as an
with
option.
them, won't we? But yeah.
But if rotivation, tilling and ploughing are covered, I can't see how that would be covered either. Because you can rotivate to a very short distance.
Well, they said it also in the last 20 years now we've already done in front of one big area. In the last, well, we've done it for a long period of time.
Okay, so the area below Jacob's Way has definitely been done in the last
Yes.
15 or 20 years, whichever it is.
Yeah.
It's had that process
last
done.
We just have to confirm